Michael William Kaiser, combat veteran, injured when an RPG hit his Hummer head on at 70 miles per hour, 3 tours, 2 Purple Hearts, a shining example of America's fighting men and women. Why? Well, Michael wanted to be like his granddaddy, and he wanted his granddaddy to be proud of him. And so should we. We should hold him aloft, use him as a role model for our children. But before you do, let me tell you the truth. The truth is, Michael Kaiser failed boot camp. Not once, but twice. He served for a total of 1 year, 1 month and 5 days, according to his DD-214. Michael Kaiser is a fraud. All his military claims are fabrications. Stories stolen from true combat veterans. The only medal that Michael Kaiser deserves is the Medal for Stolen Valor. Yeah, Michael Kaiser is guilty of stolen valor. On Kaiser's YouTube channel, Fraud at Wrangler, he took aim at frauditors, commonly referred to as First Amendment auditors, and for the past 18 months was fixated by one in particular, Christopher Ryder, aka for Public Safety. I'll admit, yes, I took aim at Christopher as well, as did other YouTube channels. But with Kaiser, it was an obsession. It was a drug. His daily live streams targeted Christopher. Now, I'm not saying that Christopher didn't do some stupid things, but looking back over the last 18 months, I wonder, was it envy? Was it jealousy? We know that a frauditor lies. They'll alter their story to suit their narrative. They'll grift, e-beg, and they'll tell their subscribers what they want to hear. Let me make this very clear. Michael Kaiser is a frauditor, a scam, a grifter. It's just that he does his frauditing from behind a computer, not with a camera in the street. And why? Well, it turns out that Michael Kaiser was a fugitive from justice. Kaiser is no longer a free person. He was arrested on 2/7/25 around 6:30 p.m. at his mother's house on a fugitive warrant from Alabama, with a hold bond for extradition back to Alabama. The question is, will Kaiser sign a waiver for extradition, or will he fight it and wait for the governor to sign the extradition order? How did we end up with Kaiser in jail, waiting for extradition? Well, this case started back on 12/9/22, when Kaiser was true-billed by a grand jury for the following charges: 2 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree, a Class C felony punishable by a prison term of 1 year 1 day to 10 years, 2 counts of theft of property in the 3rd, a Class D felony punishable by 1 year and 1 day to 5 years, and a fine up to $7,500. 1 count of fraudulent use of a credit card, a Class D felony punishable by 1 year and 1 day to 10 years in prison. Now, depending on how the judge sentences Kaiser, either concurrent or consecutive, Kaiser is looking at a prison sentence between 1 year 1 day to a maximum of 45 years. But here's the kicker. Alabama has the Habitual Felony Offender Act, HFOA, also known as the 3 Strikes Law. Let's break that one down. As a habitual offender, that is, someone with prior felony convictions, the 2 Class C felonies, burglary in the 3rd, means that the potential sentence is now 10 years to 99 years. The other 3 charges, which are Class D felonies, theft of property in the 3rd and fraudulent use of a credit or debit card, they'll be sentenced as Class C felonies. This means that as a habitual offender, if the judge applies HFOA, then the 2 counts of burglary in the third could mean that Kaiser faces between 10 and 99 years for each count. A maximum of 10 years for each count of theft of property, and a maximum of 10 years for the fraudulent use of a credit or debit card. Now, with his charges out of the way, what is currently happening? Well, Kaiser had a show cause hearing on 2/5/25. He failed to attend, and the court has revoked his bond and issued an all-states warrant for his arrest as a fugitive. This is because he had left the state of Alabama without the authority of the courts. Now, on 2/7/25, he was arrested at his home, and since then I've seen some interesting comments and emails. I'm going to start with an email that was sent to me. Now, this email is in a chain of roughnecks, and it was nicely forwarded to me. The email is from Kimmy, and she is playing the victim card and the woe is me. She starts off by accusing Shiz of having the police sent to Kaiser's house and arresting him. Kimmy, I don't know if you know how this works, but that was always on the cards, and the only person to blame for this is Michael. He was defiant that he didn't have to go to court, that it was only a status hearing. He knew about this as early as December the 12th, 2024, when Shiz revealed that there was a show cause docket for 2/5/25.
And I don't even know if Mr. Kaiser knows this yet, but it is public record. Anyone can call the courthouse and inquire. But Mike, do you have a court date coming up? Did your case get put on the docket, Mike, for February 5th, 2025?
On January 2nd, 2025, not only did Shiz show how to pull court records, but she also showed the notice to show cause.
So I wanted to show you all how to pull records from the Alabama Court Access System. It's a very handy dandy website. All you have to do is make an account. It costs money, but they're prepared for me. But it outlines his charges, which we can see here as burglary in the third unoccupied building, theft of property third degree, fraudulent use of a credit or debit card, burglary in the third degree unoccupied building, and theft of property third degree. We've been over that report several times. It's in my Discord. He stole 2 safes and 2 credit cards, or 1 credit card, used it twice. Yeah, how dare I pull public records? Weird. But so I believe that what he's trying to get people to not be aware of is this. So we see on December the 9th, 2024 at 10:06 a.m., a show cause was filed. The same date at 10:51, it was docketed. The following day, December 10th at 10:55 a.m., the order was granted for show cause, rendered and entered. See that right there, you legal scholar? And then the same date, December 10th at 11:09, his lawyer withdrew. That at 11:10 was docketed. And look, set for show cause, February the 5th, 2025 at 9 a.m. So again, I did nothing illegal. I didn't violate any laws. I didn't need to have anyone put in a word for me or pull anything for me. I paid the fee for the account, and I paid the fees to pull the records. That's very basic research. And for someone who goes after people for coping the way you do and lying to people, you're sure doing the same thing. Did you ever think maybe you didn't get served with this, Mr. Kaiser, because you're supposed to be in Alabama? So they maybe sent it to the address you claimed you were living at when you were out on bond, right? Because you're currently out on bond. It's probably at that address.
If you remember, I did 2 videos. One where I accused Shiz of fabrication and fraud, and then the apology video. You know, the one where I backstabbed Michael. Well, I showed it in there as well, that the notice to show cause filed in the Etowah County Court by Deputy District Attorney Stephen McGlathery was fabricated by... Michael had plenty of warning, and all he had to do was look it up. Shiz didn't send the police around to Michael's place. The courts did. When that arrest warrant was filed and put through NCIC, every law enforcement officer in America knew about it. And remember, Bethany PD, they know where Michael lives because they had to go and do a welfare check for you. And something else, Kimming, Michael actually signed a form that he would ensure that he kept up with court dates in his trial. And this show cause hearing, well, it's part of the trial. Now, in Kaiser's last live, there was a very interesting comment that had been left. Typically, it's been deleted. And we know why. Because when you speak the truth about Kaiser, or you challenge him, you either get blocked or your comment gets deleted. But prior to it being deleted, I was able to grab a screenshot. And this comment fits right here. Under the comment from John Corey, 7318. Wrangler, are you okay? You look sick, bro. Now, we all know that Michael had a drug problem, so much so that he blames his drug addiction for his crimes. But we've heard Michael tell us many a time that he is clean, that he's off the drugs, and that he won't even take Tylenol. Alright? Well, Kimming, why is Mike in a detox cell if he's not using drugs? Has he been lying again about his drug use? Now, there have been questions raised, comments and suggestions that Kaiser could be out of jail as early as next week. Some hoping that he will be out Monday 2/10/25. Well, let's just take a look at what Kaiser has been held for. There are 3 charges: flight to avoid, burglary 3rd degree, and possess credit card or debit card of another with the intent to defraud. Now let's take a look at that second charge, burglary in the 3rd degree. As you can see, he has a $3,000 cash or bail bond attached to that charge. Now my understanding is, through my research, that if he can raise that money, that will mean that any time he spends in jail prior to sentencing, those days will be deducted from his sentence for time served. Now let's take a look at possess credit card, credit or debit card. The bond makes reference to count 1, which is the flight to avoid. So roughnecks, listen carefully. Count 1, flight to avoid. The bond is held without bond. So if you want to waste your money to raise his $3,000 bond for burglary in the 3rd degree, remember, you're wasting your money. Now there is a very high chance that even after this show cause hearing, because Michael has fled the state once and is considered a flight risk, he will be held in custody until such time as he is found not guilty.
Wrangler is guilty. I am.
The charges are dropped.
Wrangler is guilty. I am.
Or until he is sentenced.
Wrangler is guilty. I am.
If Michael is lucky and someone is looking down on him on sentencing day, he might get away with the minimum of 1 year and 1 day. But God help him if the gods are angry, because he could well face 228 years. As I close out this video, I want you to remember one thing. Michael William Kaiser is the only suspect in the 2009 murder of former United States Marine Donald Atwater Cameron Jr. Michael, enjoy prison,
Where people murder people and they don't get charged.
and bye for now.